Good morning, friends. Today I will start from the topic diabetes mellitus. So, diabetes is a metabolic disease in which there are high blood sugar level over a prolonged period. Symptoms of high blood sugar include frequent urination, increased thirst, and increased hunger. If left untreated, diabetes can cause many complications. Type of diabetes mellitus. There is mainly three type of diabetes mellitus. Number 1 is type 1, next is type 2, and third one is gestational diabetes mellitus. So type 1 diabetes mellitus result from the pancreas failure to produce enough insulin. This form was previously referred to as insulin dependent diabetes mellitus, that is IDDM, or juvenile diabetes. The cause is unknown. Next, coming to type 2 diabetes mellitus, which is called non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. It begins with insulin resistance, a condition in which cells fail to respond to insulin properly. As the disease progresses, a lack of insulin may also develop. This form was previously referred to as non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus, or NIDDM, or adult onset diabetes. The primary cause is excessive body weight and not enough exercise. Coming to gestational diabetes, it is the third main form and occurs when pregnant women without a previous history of diabetes develop high blood sugar levels. Next, coming to burden of disease. As of 2015, an estimated 415 million people had diabetes worldwide, with type 2 diabetes mellitus making up about 90% of the cases. This represents 8.3% of the adult population, with equal rates in both women and men. As of 2014, trends suggest the rate would continue to rise. Diabetes at least doubles a person's risk of early death from 2012 to 2015. Approximately 1.5 to 5 million deaths each year resulted from diabetes. The International Diabetes Federation estimates the total number of diabetic subjects to be around 40.9 million in India, and this is further set to rise to 69.9 million by the year 2025. Next, coming to injuries and accidents. It is estimated that more than 5 million people die every year in developing countries from road traffic crashes, burns, falls, other types of unintentional injury, violence, and suicide. Millions more are disabled temporarily or permanently by injuries. Next, coming to arthritis. Arthritis is a form of joint disorder that involves inflammation in one or more joints. The most common form of arthritis is osteoarthritis, which is called the degenerative joint disease, a result of trauma to the joint or with degenerative changes occurring in body with age. Pain, which can vary in severity, is a common symptom in virtually all types of arthritis. Other symptoms include swelling, joint stiffness, and aching around the joint. Inability to use the hand or walk, stiffness which may be worse in the morning or after use. Next, malaise and fatigue, weight loss, poor sleep due to pain, muscle ache and pain, tenderness, and difficulty moving the joints. Next disease, coming to epilepsy. It is characterized by recurrent seizure, which are brief episode of involuntary movement that may involve a part of the body, that is called partial, or the entire body, that is generalized, and are sometimes accomplished by loss of consciousness and control of bowel or bladder function. Epilepsy with a known cause is called secondary epilepsy, means there is a cause, then we called it secondary epilepsy or symptomatic epilepsy. The causes of secondary or symptomatic epilepsy could be brain damage, congenital anomaly, a severe head injury, a stroke that restricts the amount of oxygen to brain, an infection of the brain such as meningitis encephalitis, certain genetic syndrome, and lastly brain tumor. Next I am coming to the disease blindness. Blindness means visual impairment. So visual impairment is also known as vision impairment or vision loss, is a decreased ability to see to a degree that cause problems not fixable by usual means, and the blindness refer to the complete or nearly complete vision loss. The causes of blindness in India. First one is cataract, that is 62.6%, refraction error 19.7%, glaucoma 5.8%, corneal pathologies 0.9%, others 11%. The blindness can be classified into two. These are curable blindness and preventable blindness. So curable blindness in which the damage is reversible by prompt management, for example in case of cataract. Next classification is preventable blindness. So blindness that could have been completely prevented by institution of effective preventive or prophylactic measure, as on early diagnosis, for example in case of xerophthalmia, trachoma and glaucoma. So here I am completing the epidemiology of specific non-communicable diseases in brief. So next I am starting from the National Health Program related to non-communicable disease. So there are national health programs on the non-communicable disease, and key program is National Program on Cancer, Diabetes, Cardiovascular Disease and Stroke, with objective of risk reduction for prevention of NCD, means non-communicable disease, and early diagnosis and appropriate management of these NCD. The strategies used are health promotion for the general population and disease prevention for the high risk groups. The expected outcome of the program is to create awareness on healthy lifestyle, health promotion at school, community and workplaces, and management of non-communicable disease, particularly diabetes, cardiovascular disease and stroke. So, national response to non-communicable disease. This NCD share some common risk factor. Previously, I also told that there is modifiable and non-modifiable risk factor. So the risk factors are tobacco use and exposure, unhealthy diet, physical inactivity, harmful use of alcohol, indoor and ambient air pollution, stress, poverty, poor health-seeking behavior, and low access to healthcare services. Next I am coming to the National Program for the Prevention and Control of Cancer, Diabetes, Cardiovascular Disease and Stroke. So, the main focus of NPCDCS or National Program for the Prevention and Control of Cancer, Diabetes, Cardiovascular Disease and Stroke is to enable opportunistic screening. Opportunistic screening happens when someone asks their doctor or health professional for a check or test, or a check or test is offered by a doctor or health professional at PSC, CSC and district level through the setting up of NCD clinics. At the PSC and subcenter level, additional funding for glucose testing was provided for all those over 30 years of age and all pregnant women, and encompassing greater outreach, better follow-up through symptomatic monitoring and data collection. Next I am coming to the main focus of these guidelines is on screening and diagnosis common non-communicable disease. Next, identifying and addressing modifiable risk factor which we can modify or can control, treating using standard treatment guidelines, follow-up, and lastly, referring patient at appropriate level. Next I am coming to the diabetes mellitus, which is mainly two types, type 1 diabetes mellitus and type 2 diabetes mellitus. So usually type 1 diabetes mellitus occurs in younger people, children and adolescents. The diagnosis of type 1 diabetes mellitus can be made throughout childhood, but it is more likely below 15 years of age. The onset is usually acute and severe and insulin is required for survival. So here insulin is required for survival in type 1 diabetes mellitus. Next I am coming to type 2 diabetes mellitus. It is the commonest type of diabetes. It usually occurs after the age of 40 years but occurs frequently even at lower age among Indians. Type 2 diabetes mellitus was previously known as non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. The onset is usually insidious and may be mild to severe. When is a person at high risk for diabetes? When we call someone as high risk. Age of or above 30 years. Overweight where BMI is more than 23 kg per meter square. Physically inactive, exercise less than 3 times a week, high blood pressure, impaired fasting glucose or impaired glucose tolerance. Triglyceride and or cholesterol level are higher than normal. Parents or siblings or grandparents have or had diabetes or even mild elevation of blood sugar. Next, when to suspect diabetes? Someone is suffering to diabetes when we will suspect symptoms of uncontrolled hyperglycemia like excess thirst, excess urination, excess hunger with loss of weight, frequent infection, non-healing wounds, means the wound will not heal properly or it will take long time, fatigue and tuberculosis. Next I am coming to the criteria for diagnosis of type 2 diabetes mellitus using venous blood sample is by fasting glucose and post glucose load. So when we will call the person have impaired fasting glucose when he or she have more than or equals to 110 fasting glucose level and less than 126 fasting glucose level. When we call someone have impaired glucose tolerance, when the fasting glucose level will be less than 110 and more than 140 in post glucose load or postprandial blood glucose and less than 200. When we can call the particular person have diabetes mellitus, when fasting glucose level is more than equals to 126 and postprandial blood glucose level is more than equals to 200. So when to recommend hospitalization of diabetes patient? When uncontrolled infection, severe cellulitis, unresponsive UTI, recurrent UTI, presence of ketone in urine, then we can recommend for hospitalization. Next I am coming to the complication of diabetes mellitus. The complications are divided into microvascular and macrovascular. In microvascular, there is retinopathy, that is damage to eyes leading to blindness. Next, nephropathy means damage to kidney leading to renal failure. Number 3, neuropathy means damage to nerve leading to impotence and diabetic foot disorder. And lastly, macrovascular complications include the cardiovascular disease such as heart attack and stroke and insufficiency in blood flow to legs. So today I am completing up to diabetes mellitus and In my next class, I will start from hypertension. Thank you.